This is my mother. We've got my father, Linda and Rich. And we've got cousin Joanne, and then cousin Jimmy. So we are going to discuss the 4 hidden barriers, and they were kind enough to sort of show up and do a little roundtable discussion about which one kind of spoke to them or even their experience around it. So I'm just going to ask whoever's feeling called to start off the discussion, whatever it may be. Roundtable. Anyone?
Definitely a lot of editing.
Oh, it's gonna be,
Have you got them
it's
written
gonna be
down?
a lot.
Yes.
But, yeah,
But I
Okay, so Jimmy,
yes.
did any of them kind of
I'm-
ding 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 for you?
I'm the novice on this whole thing.
I know you're the novice.
So,
You're a good sport for jumping in.
and the only thing that I've been thinking about when you were telling me about all the different levels
Yes.
is something that I've always thought about in my life, and that is if an opportunity comes in front of you, you have 2 choices: to say yes or say no.
Yes.
And in both cases, your life will be changed forever. You know, if you say no, then you've given up several opportunities. If you say yes, then you've taken on challenges that you have no idea if you can meet.
Okay, and then what was your own experience with the 4 hidden barriers?
Well, I think the 4 hidden barriers are something that can affect your subconscious. But if you look at it on face value, I think it's an opportunity to say, not as an excuse, but that you've been a victim of these things if you allow them to limit you. I think we've all experienced these 4 areas as we grew up, as we matured into adults. But I agree that if you allow these things to enter into your conscious and prevent you from growing, that yes, you can be stymied, but I don't think you can look on the past and say, this is what has happened to me and then I'm a victim. I think you have to discard some of these things and just move forward.
That sounds great. And do you think that's just a decision for you? To just discard them and move forward and choose not to be a victim?
In the best of all worlds, yes, we can discard them.
Okay. Hand over. Hi, Dad.
Hi, honey.
So I know you got to watch the video this morning, but now you're being refreshed about these 4 hidden barriers.
Right.
And so I'm just wondering if any of them, if you got a ding 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 on any of them when you were watching the video or when you heard me explain them earlier.
Well, the first one about thinking you were flawed, which segues perfectly into the thing about the childhood with the ladder. I was in a special needs swim class because of my arm, and
Which was an injury that happened at birth, where
birth,
your arm was
birth injury.
Atrophied. Left arm was.
Yeah, Erb's palsy, they called it, was
Okay.
a birth injury. And so, well, I don't know if that was connected to why I thought that way. Maybe it was. But I was in the special needs swim class, and it was a Springfield College class, and when they went back to their classroom, they talk about the kids in the class, and they referred to me as the wild kid with the bad wing, which was a huge surprise to me that I was referred to in that way because I never saw myself that way. So why didn't I see myself that way? In other words, if I had that kind of whatever you call it, willingness to go for it or whatever you called it, which I thought I didn't have, I don't know why I didn't have it, but I thought of that as a flaw at the time that obviously was not there.
Perfect.
You want the notes, honey?
So I'm just going to pan over to Mom. And you and I had a great conversation the other day about all of these 4. And so I'm just wondering if you'd like to share any of your ding ding dings.
Well, I think it's interesting because when I was a child, I was very lucky. I think I grew up in a place where I was allowed to be incredibly free, and I was an only child, so I didn't have other siblings that were part of my life to maybe give me some nudges. I was a beloved grandchild and beloved niece, and so I was pretty lucky. I think some of these things came into being as I got into young adulthood in college. That's where I think I was a little bit more in tune with not thinking about not outshining other people, and so it came into being later in life rather than I can remember back as a child. I never thought of that. I just glorified in getting on any train and saying yes to anything and being thrilled with the opportunity. As the train goes by, I love to get on if it feels right. And so I feel like I've had a lot of opportunities since to get on lots of trains, and I'm grateful for it.
And now you're on the Genius train.
And now I'm on the Genius train.
Woo, woo.
There you go.